Tom, did the bye come at the right time for this group?
Yeah, I thought it was a good time. We've obviously a lot going on off the field, so it was a nice little time. Got us a chance to work on a few things, and we've trained them pretty solidly. So I think we'll be in good shape tomorrow night.
Do you sort of have a bit of a mid-season review, given we're almost at that point and you had the week off?
I think we just constantly review with the team. I think as a footy department we had a bit of a review and worked out what we'd done well, what we hadn't, and what we want to do in the next 10 or so weeks. So it was it was a good amount of days to be able to refresh as a footy department and the club. So, but a playing list, no.
Did you say you need to change anything in particular, or was it just do the things that you want to do better?
Yeah, just things that we want to do better that we've, to talk about. But the day-to-day stuff, when you're playing every week, you don't sort of find the time. But we had a fantastic, 4 or 5 hours of it last Friday, and there's out of that, there's probably 5 or 6 things that we want to do better, and hopefully we achieve that.
Was that driven by the coaches or more of the playing group, or who was that driven by mainly?
No, the player group weren't involved, but no, it was just the coaches and the admin stuff.
You confident a spike in form's just around the corner?
Yeah, I am. I'm certainly not as worried as what a lot of other people are. I think it's a good position to be. It's halfway through the season, not even. So if we could, improve in small areas, will make massive difference on the ground. And yeah, we're going to do that. We're smart enough to know that what we need to do, and we've been working on it. And that training last 2 weeks, it's been good. So it's always good to have something to work on rather than playing at your best this time of year.
So why do you say it's a good position to be in? I guess a lot of people might think you're probably a couple of wins behind where you'd like to be, but why do you think you're in a good position?
Well, I think we're in a good position because we're capable of playing good footy, and every other year we've been in this position. At that midpoint, we've been on top of the ladder, we've been talked up, and this club can't sustain that sort of stuff. So we're always better when we've got something to work into.
I guess you probably haven't got much margin for error, though, haven't you, given your 4 and 5 that you've got to get a move on?
Look, I don't worry about trying to get, so many wins and so many times. It's irrelevant. It's all about, working on a game and trying to implement that game on the weekend. And you should win enough games if you're doing good work on the track and as a coaching group.
Joe Danaher, why did you see the need to drop him this week?
Oh, he's just unlucky. A little bit about he's had 8, 9 games in a row, and it's a good opportunity to have a good spell if he doesn't play. And obviously we've got Bell Chambers and we've got a pretty fit squad, so that's the other real positive about this year. It's our boys are looking pretty strong, and usually they're their bodies are tapering off, and we've actually worked them pretty well.
Has he had to shoulder more than you would have hoped, given Jake's form hasn't been as good and you haven't had Tom up there as well? He's had to carry more of a load than you'd like?
I think he's been fantastic. I think his output's been first class, and it's not because of poor form or we don't like him anymore. It's just because of he's played and he's young and he's had big workloads, and we're looking after him.
What did you say to him, Bummer, when you dropped him? What was the message to him?
Yeah, just that. Look, he's had played a lot of footy, and it'd be a nice little real freshener up, and we want to play as often as we can. We've shown that we will play him, so we think he's got enormous career in front of him, and we have a responsibility to look after him. And I find that when you rest young ones, that you get a better result by the end of the year.
So will he play VFL then, or will he take the week off?
He might play AFL yet. Our squad's not really determined. There's a few concerns we have to get through. He might play AFL. If he doesn't, it's okay too. There's no problem.
Does this change Jake's role at all with Joe not being in the side?
Oh, not really. I wouldn't think so. Jakey Carlisle's been fantastic out in the track the last 2 weeks with his attitude. He's sparked up and he's working hard and been really positive. So him and Bell Chambers, Paddy Ryder, it's a good combination. So hopefully he gets a bit of the ball kicked to him, Jakey Carlisle and Paddy.
Winderlick and Chappie come in. Do you reckon that's a more sort of attacking or potent forward mix up there with a couple of crafty forwards?
I think it might be, yep. I think having Chappie and Licker back in helps us.
Did you need to change structure at all? I mean, is that part of the review process that you needed to maybe take one tall out, or?
No, not really. It's Licker's been hurt. He was unlucky that he got injured. He was, but lucky he actually didn't sustain major injury. And Chappie's just had the bye and he just pulled up sore, so his groins. So having them two back in, it's got to help us. Experienced players. They both, they work well together, and Yeah, I'm sure that we'll be a better forward line with him in the team.
Would he play that Sydney game if he wasn't suspended, or was he pretty sore anyway?
He was going to not play all the games, so it was about time he had a break. And sometimes when a player knows the break's coming, that they go out the week before. And they do. They're just like it's a human nature.
Is this the best side you've had on the park?
I think so. Yeah, I think this is it'd be close to being one of our most experienced teams for sure. So I'm not sure whether there's anyone more experienced out there that's not playing. Jeremy, you can tell me. Not that I can think of.
You've been kept to 10 goals or fewer of the past 6 games. Is more scoring power than that required to get over the Tigers?
Yes, yeah, you'd think you'd have to score more than 9. If we could score 9 and get the opposition to 7, it'd be great. But defensively we haven't been able to stop teams either. So it's all about balance. I know that we'll kick more goals when we move the ball better to more predictable areas of the ground with people knowing where it's going. They can run to good positions to win the ball further on. And it doesn't really matter. Like, it's nice to have quality players forward, but it wouldn't have mattered if we've had quality forwards, the last 3 or 4 weeks because our ball use has been rubbish.
It's hard to get a read on Richmond.
Yeah, it's like hard to get a read against us too. I'm sorry. We've both been a little bit inconsistent in periods. They played their best game last week, so that's our big focus, is in making sure that we start our best this week.
Did you look much into their game last week, given the opposition were so poor?
I think you always have to. Yeah, you see that when you have a poor opposition and things working out for you, you get to see what a club wants to do best in the best possible scenario. Obviously, they wanted space, kick at the jack, and run the ball through the middle of the ground in massive numbers. So that's what they did, and that's what we have to try and stop from happening.
Will you instruct Bell Chambers and Paddy Ryder to really give Marich a run around, given it's his first game back?
Sometimes you can focus too much on those sorts of things. We just want Paddy to play a game of footy where he jumps up high, follows up in the ground and pushes hard forward and tries to kick some goals for us and help set up. So, no, it's not going to be a massive focus to run him around. I'm not sure about Ivan's natural fitness. That I have no idea, but it should be irrelevant. We've got to really just do what we do.
I know you haven't coached in this game before, but does it feel like it's getting a bigger and bigger event every year, this game?
I think it's a really important game, especially the current issues and that's the outlook on Australia at the moment. It's this game has got a long history, and it's a great thing that the code does for the Indigenous people of this country. And it's great that Essendon have the opportunity in Richmond, and they've done a really good job by promoting it and the long walk. So, Paddy and Demps are our 2 Indigenous boys, so hopefully they have a great game. We get up for them, and everybody's happy.
Surprised to see your former club go down so easily last night?
It was a bit amazing, but having played Sydney last week, I've never seen a team really play as well early in the game. I thought we were pretty lucky and done reasonably well to lose the last 3 quarters by 14 points. So, yeah, it's a bit sad to see. You don't want to see any games, one team lose by 100. It's been a long time since Geelong have done it.
Are they the new benchmark, Sydney, in the comp this year?
Yeah, they're a good team. But again, it's round 10, so it's a long time to keep form, isn't it?
Are they unbeatable though? Could you see chinks in their armour last night?
I don't think anyone's unbeatable, but they're strong at the moment all over the field, and they seem to be up and about, and be a great position to be in. But as I said, to hold it for another 13, 14 weeks is a long time.
It's more than a jumper. It's a tradition, a legacy.
It crosses our hearts and unites us all, and now more than ever.
It's time to don the sash.